candy. I call my sugar candy. Because I'm sweet on candy, and candy's sweet on me.
The president will see you now.
Mr. President, thank you for seeing me. I'm here to tell you that 25% of Americans have no representation and are heavily taxed. Those under 18 have no vote. I remember 4 years ago, Speaker of the House John Boehner complained,
"We're broke. We're broke. America's broke." All year long, our friends across the aisle have been on this massive spending spree that our nation can't afford.
In fact, we're worse than broke. We're $16 trillion in debt, a debt that will be paid by my generation. If I remember my Schoolhouse Rock,
that's called taxation without representation, and it's not fair.
No taxation without representation is our country's founding principle.
And listen, I don't know how worthy any of these projects are, but I do have to ask the question, are they more important than our kids and our grandkids, or you have to pay the debt?
There are others who dismiss that the debt is even a problem.
If the government has a debt of $15 trillion, that simply means that over the last 234 years, it spent $15 trillion more dollars than it took away from us in taxes. In other words, it's a net $15 trillion of dollars that the public holds.
So he's saying that the government debt is my asset. In fact, there are other people who think we should go further into debt.
Central irony of financial crisis is that it is caused by too much confidence, too much spending, too much lending, and it can only be resolved with more confidence, more lending, and more spending.
And yet I hear Larry Summers, and I hear Austin Goolsbee, and I hear Paul Krugman, and I hear Joe Stiglitz, all of my colleagues, talking about how we need to stimulate the economy with more government spending. Government doesn't create resources, it redistributes resources. And it redistributes them to people who produced them to people who didn't produce them.
Anyone? The Laffer curve.
This is like November 1st. You wake up and your stomach hurts from having too much Halloween candy. Is the solution really to gorge on more candy?
I could have had candy, apples, and gum, and cookies and money and all sorts of things.
Your generation created a $16 trillion debt for my generation. I understand you're building an infrastructure for the future. Some spending is necessary and good.
This money is spent quickly, it injects demand into the economy, and it's job created. It creates jobs faster than almost any other initiative you can name.
You are my candy girl, and you got me wanting.
We have to do something with the housing industry.
Honey, oh, sugar, sugar.
When we first met Angel Adams, she was living in a small motel room with 12 of her 15 children, ranging in age from 11 years to 6 months, and she was angry at the system.
Somebody needs to pay for all my children.
I just can't believe the wonder of this feeling too. I just can't believe it's true. Ah, sugar.
But that's where food stamp benefits come in. They help me eat right when money's tight.
You are my candy girl.
Make no more than 10% of their discretionary income, that's the money left over after shelter and food, on those college loans.
Now I say to you gentlemen that this college is a failure. The trouble is we're neglecting football for education.
You are my candy girl, and you got me.
As we invest in infrastructure, we'll employ a lot of contractors, construction, manufacturing, but they'll have that income and they'll put it back into the economy. It will affect our retail sector, our tourism sector, education sector.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
I can't talk about the other 49 states, but I can talk about what the Recovery Act did for the state of Nevada. It basically saved the state of Nevada from going into bankruptcy.
Mr. President, I can't ask more from our government than that. However, I can ask less from them. Some spending is just wasteful.
The Cowgirl Hall of Fame.
That
the defense contractors get stinking rich off their failure, off their incompetence.
And they want to build a bridge with $223 million of your tax dollars.
I told Congress thanks, but no thanks on that bridge to nowhere.
A brand new computer and underground parking.
Because when the American people no longer believe that this is a place where only their willingness to work hard and to act with honor and integrity and ingenuity determines their success in life, then we'll have a bunch of people sitting on a couch waiting for their next government check.
You have to take the bull by the horns and start spending and investing in things that make sense.
The administration has pledged $3.5 billion in stimulus money, also known as federal tax dollars, and that's just so far. Now California admits it will need even more, tens of billions of dollars more from federal taxpayers to finish it.
And the Navy's newest Virginia-class attack submarine is in Pascagoula, Mississippi for this weekend's commissioning.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
It's a virtual reality spray paint simulator system.
She can't have one.
Who says I can't?
None with a funny hat.
I want one! 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 I want...
The Meshworm, an MIT-led research team designed the robot that moves like an earthworm.
It's all hopeless. We might as well buy Greek bonds and go down together.
Mr. President, do you realize that if I had 16 trillion of these little pieces of candy, I could cover the entire area of Washington, D.C. 4,000 times over? The youth of this country are being taxed without representation. Now, while I sit around watching C-SPAN all day, most kids are not that well informed, so you can't give us the vote. However, that leaves you with two alternatives. You can either spend more responsibly, or you can eliminate the debt. The youth of this country demand it. Thank you for your time. Have a lollipop and a great day.
Lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop. Boom, boom, boom. Lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop. Boom, boom, boom. Mama,